And when you mentioned to me the other day when we were speaking about
Mm.
nitrogen generation
Yes,
or cylinders,
yes.
there's also a lot of interplay between labs and departments. And that's a whole nother of complexity, right,
David,
for
I thought of
sourcing
something else
everything.
just this morning that I did not even think to tell you. So you were talking about the pluses and minuses. David has a 10-minute video out there, and forgive me, I don't remember the name of it. I saw it on LinkedIn and I watched it, and he lists the pluses and minuses of having compressed nitrogen cylinders versus a nitrogen generator in the lab. And I listened and I thought, okay, David hasn't been where I am. So let me just bring a couple little details up. So it's everything, as I said, and I learned this from the ASM, but even at the University of Alabama, the practices can vary from the department to department. So the Department of Chemistry did not pay for either the product or the cylinder rental on any of the compressed cylinders. That would be up to the users and their individual budgets, which meant for us in the stock room, we had this sign in and sign out sheet. And I had one full time assistant and lots of student assistants I have really good helpers. But again, Murphy's Law, sometimes maybe someone's out filling a solvent order, and that area is defined as a lab. You can never work alone in a lab. So then there's two people right away out there, and then somebody's getting a chemical from the chemical storage room, which is a whole separate behind a locked door, and then somebody is running through, somebody meaning probably a graduate student, and grabbing a cylinder. And usually they sign in and sign out. The issues I find are sometimes our material handling equipment, I don't know what it is. They forget or they don't think about their neighbor. And we only have so many pieces of material handling equipment, and you're supposed to bring it right back. But then when you're in a building 200,000 plus square feet and you're, okay, let's go. That's not fun having to look for that. So it's definitely a minus. It's in the minus column for the compressed cylinders, David. So then you'll have to get that back. And the thing that I didn't even think about, so check this out. So we had our own science and engineering quad. Where I worked in Shelby Hall, I always thought of it as the mothership because that was the first building. And then we were connected to Science and Engineering Complex. And then directly across from us, we had NERC, North Engineering Research Complex. And then over here was CERC, South Engineering Research Complex, our own little world on this side of the campus, right? And it was all new and shiny, and the sidewalks are fabulous. I want to say that to say this. I found out after we went on for a while that some of these compressed cylinders, again, on our material handling equipment, would go on these fabulously smooth sidewalks from one building to another. And since we were keeping up with them, we had everything's barcoded. We didn't have barcode readers. The vendor did. They didn't. Do you think they brought them back to be counted against our inventory? Absolutely not. They got counted towards the other building's inventory. So every once in a while, we'd have to stop. Things would get off. Just things happen, and challenge the vendor. Say, okay, let's go ahead and do a physical inventory, and that means Lisa has lost about a day and a half of work. So that's another minus, David.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know how long
Generating
you
your
want me.
gas on demand is really the way to
The
go,
gas on
safety wise,
demand.
too.
I
Cost
had
wise, safety wise,
I
it's
have a picture of it. This I love. I told Jim, I said, this to me is the picture of serenity and peace. I just want to put a plug in. People, write this into your research grants. Ask for it in your startup package. Do whatever you got to do. It's just what could be better? You don't have to fool with all those compressed cylinders. And if you want me to go on, I'm just going to stop. I could go on for another 10 minutes, but I feel like I'm wearing you out.
Oh, no, not at all. And as manufacturers, we certainly understand how much of a necessary evil physical inventories are. It's
right.
not something we look forward to, but it's part of
But we
being
have to
a,
do them, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
anybody in the production environment, whether it's industrial manufacturing or in a lab, you still got to do some inventory.
That's right.